Let's kick things off with one of the biggest headlines to hit the MMA world in years. Dana White says fighter pay is going up. For fighters, fans, and industry watchers who have been debating this topic for as long as the UFC has existed, this is no small development. Speaking on the popular sports podcast Pardon My Take, White made the announcement in his trademark no-nonsense style, making it clear that the promotion's brand new deal with Paramount isn't just a win for the company, it's a win for the fighters in a way that could be significant. Listen, White said, when you do a deal like this, obviously we are talking about how good it is for the fans. It's obviously good for the company, but it's incredible for the fighters. We've always had a motto where you eat what you kill type of thing with the pay-per-views. Mathematically, you just figure that out. It's going to be incredible. While fighter pay has been a contentious issue for years, White pointed out that history is on his side. Since 2001, the year he and his partners purchased the UFC, every major broadcast or pay-per-view deal the promotion has signed has led to a bump in fighter pay. He stressed that this Paramount deal will follow the same pattern, only this time the scale could be much larger. But White didn't stop at numbers. He made it clear that this agreement isn't just about the financial bottom line, it's also about exposure. More visibility means more sponsorship opportunities, bigger fan bases, and moments that can define a fighter's career. In his words, the partnership could transform fighters from athletes into household names faster than ever before. He broke it down with a simple comparison that resonated instantly. More people can tune in for $12.99 than they could for $80+. For years, UFC pay-per-views have been priced at a premium, creating a barrier for some fans. With a lower entry point through Paramount's distribution model, millions of potential viewers both in the United States and globally could be tuning in to live UFC events for a fraction of the old cost. That means an entirely new audience could be watching a fighter's first big knockout, comeback win, or title fight. In MMA, those moments can change everything, from the size of the next fight purse to a surge in social media followers to major endorsement deals. The ripple effects are easy to imagine. The UFC expands its reach. Fans enjoy a more affordable way to watch elite MMA. Fighters get paid more and have more eyeballs on them than ever before. It's the rare scenario where every major party benefits. White's enthusiasm during the interview left little doubt about how he sees the deal, not just as a new business chapter but as a transformational step for the sport itself. If his projections hold true, the Paramount era of the UFC might be remembered as the moment fighter pay and fighter profiles hit a whole new level. Now shifting gears to another big talking point in the MMA world, Michael Chandler believes Justin Gaethje should get the next shot at the lightweight title, and he's not shy about saying it. When Chandler was recently asked to put on his Hunter Campbell hat, a playful way of saying, "Think like the UFC's chief business officer and matchmaker," he laughed, acknowledging that his mindset is very different from someone in the business office making multi-million-dollar fight decisions. But when it came down to his personal opinion, Chandler didn't hesitate. "My hat is, man, give the fight to Gaethje. I want to see Gaethje go out there and fight for the title. That's me," Chandler said matter-of-factly. You could tell from his tone this wasn't just a casual suggestion, it was something he genuinely wanted to see happen. Chandler's reasoning wasn't just about friendship or personal preference. In his eyes, Justin Gaethje has been a cornerstone of the UFC lightweight division for years. He's faced the best of the best, never shied away from a challenge, and built a reputation as one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport's history. Chandler pointed out that Gaethje's style, relentless pressure, devastating leg kicks, and knockout power makes him a guaranteed crowd pleaser. A title fight featuring Gaethje wouldn't just sell, it would deliver fireworks from start to finish. However, Chandler also admitted that if you're thinking like Hunter Campbell, the picture gets more complicated. The UFC isn't just looking at who deserves a title shot, they're also looking at the broader storyline, marketability, and timing of fights. And right now, the lightweight division is packed with intriguing possibilities. One of the biggest side plots, the ongoing feud between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria. That rivalry has been brewing for months, full of trash talk, viral moments, and fan intrigue. Chandler noted that the UFC could easily choose to lean into that beef, especially if they believe it could generate a massive audience. Then there's Arman Tsarukyan, who was originally scheduled to fight Ilia Topuria but pulled out the day before due to a sore back. Chandler was measured when discussing that situation, but he implied that last-minute withdrawals in big fights don't just disappear from the matchmaking memory bank. I'm not saying he's got to come back and fight 3 fights to get back to the title, Chandler clarified, but you've got the rivalry with Paddy and you've got Gaethje, who's just been a mainstay in the organization and in the top of the division. For Chandler, the bottom line is clear. Gaethje has earned it. He's been battle-tested, he's delivered iconic performances, and giving him another crack at the belt would be a reward not just for him but for the fans who have supported him over the years. His comments poured fuel on an already blazing debate. With so many contenders and rivalries in play, who should be next for the lightweight championship? If Chandler had his way, the choice would be easy. And finally, we move on to another intriguing headline. Dricus du Plessis says Khamzat Chimaev is concerned about his cardio. This is a bold statement considering Khamzat's reputation for dominating opponents early and ending fights quickly. But according to du Plessis, cardio might just be the chink in Chimaev's armor heading into UFC. Du Plessis didn't mince words. "We entered the UFC at the same time," he pointed out. "I'm on my 3rd title defense. He's fighting for his 1st title." For du Plessis, that experience gap is huge. He's been in 5-round wars. He's pushed himself into deep waters where every second counts. And that, in his mind, is where Khamzat might struggle. Don't tell me Khamzat is not going in and saying, "Yeah, I kill everybody, I smash everybody," du Plessis said, mocking the familiar line Chimaev has repeated many times. Great, but in your head you know you haven't been able to fight the pace you want to once the 3rd round comes. Now you know you have to fight that 5th round. Du Plessis went on to explain that training for 5 rounds and actually fighting for 5 rounds are 2 completely different things. Doing it in training is completely different. Now you're in a fight. You know, what do I do if this goes for 5 rounds? Are you gonna start now to conserve energy in the 1st and 2nd and you're not fighting your fight? He pointed to the Robert Whittaker fight as evidence. Khamzat didn't hold back. He came out at full speed, just like always. That's what makes him dangerous, but it also leaves the question of whether he can sustain that intensity for the entire fight if his opponent drags him into the championship rounds. Du Plessis made it clear that he has no such doubts about himself. "I don't have that doubt because I've gone in there full speed. My 1st fight, my 2nd fight, 1 decision. The same thing with Adesanya. Got that 4th round finish. I know I can go in there and push the pace for 5 rounds if I have to." His words set the stage for what could be a fascinating clash of styles at UFC 319. On one side, the relentless, explosive power of Khamzat Chimaev, looking to overwhelm his opponent before cardio even becomes a factor. On the other, the calculated, battle-tested endurance of Dricus du Plessis, ready to take the fight into deep waters and see if Khamzat can swim. It's a psychological game as much as it is a physical one. Du Plessis believes Khamzat has that small seed of doubt when it comes to going the full 25 minutes. Whether that's true or not, only fight night will tell. But make no mistake, when a champion starts openly questioning his opponent's cardio, it's a sign that he plans to test it in every possible way. These 3 stories, Dana White's confirmation of a massive fighter pay increase, Michael Chandler's push for Justin Gaethje to get the title shot, and Dricus du Plessis' bold claim about Khamzat Chimaev's cardio, are shaking up the MMA world. Each one is filled with its own drama, its own stakes, and its own potential to change the landscape of the sport. Dana's news could usher in a new era of financial stability for fighters. Chandler's opinion might influence matchmaking discussions behind closed doors, and du Plessis' comments could spark a war of words that builds into one of the most intense fights of the year. The only thing that's certain is that fans are in for a wild ride. Big changes are coming, big fights are on the horizon, and the energy around the UFC right now is electric.